Hi everyone! For our dinner tonight, we're going to have shrimp DeJonghe. Shrimp DeJonghe is a Chicago specialty invented in the DeJonghe Hotel on Monroe Street more than 100 years ago. The one who's gonna make this dish is not me. It is going to be my husband. In this house, I'm not the only one who cook. Although I cook most of the time, but my husband cooks too sometimes. So we really like this dish, but especially my son Jonathan, he loved shrimp DeJonghe. So I was able to convince my husband to make the video of him making this dish. So one day my kids can watch and then make it themselves. So I'm presenting my husband Jay's style.
Today I'm going to be making shrimp DeJonghe, a Chicago dish, and I developed this recipe myself, and here we go. So we have one bunch of Italian parsley. We have this is maybe 20 cloves of garlic. It's supposed to be about 15 large cloves, but some of them were very small, so I used more. This is 5 sticks of unsalted butter. Now, you know, this is not going to be for only one meal, but making this kind of food is kind of labor intensive with the garlic and the parsley, and so I prefer to make extra and freeze it, and I'll explain that later. We also have paprika, cayenne pepper, breadcrumbs, salt, and share. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the butter into a big mixing bowl. This butter is already soft. Okay, the next step is to mince the garlic. So to mince this garlic, I'm going to use, this is called a Yulu knife, but you can use a regular knife or a food processor, but you want to mince it. You don't want to make it too fine. Okay, you can see that this is minced fairly finely, and that's enough. So I'm going to put it into the butter. Okay, next, we're going to do the same thing with the parsley. We're going to mince it. Here we go again. Okay, I think we're done with the parsley. Just need to put it into the butter. Okay, now we're going to put in salt. Then we're going to put in cayenne pepper, half a teaspoon. Now, paprika, 2½ teaspoons. Okay, now I need to mix everything that we have here. So I mix together all those ingredients, and the next step is to add the 1/4 cup of dry sherry. And now I'm going to mix it together as best I can. And don't worry, the breadcrumbs are going to make everything hold together. So now I'm going to put in 2½ cups of breadcrumbs. So I'll do the ½ cup first. There we go. And the last step is mixing it all together. Okay, so I mixed together the breadcrumbs and the sherry, and now I'm going to move everything onto parchment paper. I'm going to arrange it in a long line, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator so it gets hardened up a little bit. This is going to end up being enough for 15 casseroles of shrimp DeJonghe, individual servings. Since there's 5 people in my family, I'm going to divide my my garlic butter mixture into 3 parts after it's hardened, so that I can freeze them separately. So the butter breadcrumb mixture spent the night in the freezer. And now I'm gonna cut it so that we can vacuum seal it and put parts of it away for a different meal. So this recipe makes 15 casseroles. There's 5 people in my family, so that means 3 different meals. So I'm going to cut this into 3. Okay, and we're going to vacuum seal 2 of these so we can freeze it for another meal a different day. So everything is vacuum sealed. These 2 are for future meals. This is for the meal that I make tomorrow. So we're going to prepare some boiling salted water for the shrimp. And we're preheating the oven to 375. I removed the garlic breadcrumbs from the freezer. I let them warm up a little bit, and now, because I'm making 5 casseroles, I'm going to cut it into 5 portions. We have boiling salted water. We have 30 shrimp that's defrosted. I took off the tails, and we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it into the boiling water. It's going to turn pink pretty much immediately, and I'm going to take it out of the water right away, and I'm going to put it into ice water that I've already prepared in a strainer. So here we go. Shrimp goes in. Shrimp is turning pink. I'm going to watch it for another second. That's all it has to do. It does not have to cook. And now it goes into the ice water. Okay, so my shrimp is in the strainer. I threw away the cold water. The purpose of the cold water was to stop the cooking process. I only wanted to cook them for a very short time. Here I have buttered oven-proof casseroles, and I need to arrange the shrimp in the casseroles. And this is how I'm going to do it. I call this my yin-yang organization. Because otherwise they won't fit. Now, the last part, I have to arrange the garlic mixture on top of the shrimp. This does not have to be too pretty because it's all going to look great later. I try to cover all the shrimp. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it all has to be covered. Okay, all that remains is to bake this in the oven for 45 minutes. Okay, there's a step that I forgot to talk about. It's optional, but I press down the crumbs after they've melted because then the final result looks much nicer. So it's not really necessary, but it makes everything look more professional. More beautiful. And that's all. Back to the oven. Shrimp DeJonghe, ready, right on schedule. You should eat this with slices of toasty French bread, and I hope you enjoy it.